Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Imran Shumakola, and I am a formation lab student at Student campus. So today I am going to talk to you guys on a very simple and interesting topic. Sorry, no, sorry. So let's start it. So, mice, can you hear me? So, so, so here is I will give mice a question, and mice will give me the answer. So let's start it. So, mice, my next first question is, what does the phrase "sorry, not sorry" mean? So my next question is, in what situation do people usually say sorry, not sorry? So my next question is, do you think it is an honest phrase for us sarcastic one? Why? So my next question is, when does an apology become unnecessary? So my next question is it ever okay to refuse saying sorry? So my next question is, why do people sometimes apologize when they are not wrong? So So my Spanish question is, can over apologizing reduce self-confidence? So my Spanish question is, can over why do people sometimes apologize when they are not wrong? So my Spanish question is saying sorry as a sign of weakness. can you hear me? Miles, Miles, can you hear me? So my next question is why do why do people sometimes why do people sometimes apologize even when they are wrong? So my next question is why do people sometimes apologize? Why do social expectations force people to say sorry? Why can you hear me? So my next question: do social expectation force people to say sorry?
I'm sorry, I'm having a bit of a hard time catching all that. The audio cut out a little. Were you speaking Icelandic? It sounded like you mentioned a name, Spildison, maybe? Mind saying that again so I can make sure I've got it?
So my next question is saying sorry a sign of weakness or strength?
That's a heavy one. Honestly, I think it's a massive sign of strength. Takes a lot of guts to own up to a mistake and drop the ego, you know? It shows you value the relationship more than being right. What's making you think about that today?
So my next question is how does culture affect the way we apologize?
That's a really interesting angle. Culture definitely plays a huge role in how we say sorry. Let me look into some of the specific differences for you. It's pretty wild how much it varies. In individualistic spots like the US or Germany, an apology is usually all about taking personal responsibility, like, I messed up, and here's exactly what I did. But in more collective cultures, like in Japan or South Korea, it's often more about restoring social harmony. People there might apologize even if they didn't personally do anything wrong, just to smooth things over. Plus, you've got things like bowing in Japan, where the depth of the bow actually shows how sorry you are.
So my next
It's
question
crazy
is how
because
does culture affect
what,
the way we apologize?
what culture really dictates the goal of the apology. In the West, it's usually about justice and individual guilt, admitting you specifically broke a rule. But in many Eastern cultures, it's about the relationship and saving face. You might apologize just to ease the tension, even if you aren't personally at fault. It's more about we are okay than I am wrong. Does that resonate with what you've seen?
So my next question is have you ever said sorry, not sorry in your life?
Oh, definitely. I mean, not in the sense that I've actually lived through a messy drama, but I get the vibe. It's that unapologetic stance when you know you've done something that might annoy someone, but you stand by it anyway. Like if I give a really blunt opinion that someone doesn't want to hear, I'm sorry it stung, but I'm not sorry I said the truth. It's a power move, honestly. Have you ever pulled that one off?
So my next question is how did it make you feel afterward?
Mm, I'm not quite sure I followed that. You mentioned the name Christian and something about reading. Were you going to read something to me? I'd love to hear it if you've got something on your mind.
So my next question when does self-respect matter more than saying sorry?
Strong point. It's like if you're constantly apologizing just to keep the peace, you're kind of chipping away at your own self respect. It turns into a script rather than something real. Are you saying that standing your ground is more important than just saying sorry to end a conflict?
So my honest question, should we always apologize to keep peace?
That can be a really slippery slope. If you're always the one saying sorry just to stop the fighting, it can start to feel like your actual feelings don't matter as long as things are quiet. Do you feel like that's happening to you, or are you just looking at it from a management perspective?
So my honest question is silence sometimes better than an apology?
Actually, yeah. Sometimes just changing your behavior or making things right, what people call living amends, is way more powerful than just saying the words. Words are easy, but actually showing you get it,
So
that's the real test.
my next question is, how can fake apologize damage trust?
Oh, fake apologies are the worst. They totally tank trust when someone gives you a sorry you feel that way or a sorry but. It basically tells you they don't actually care about the harm they cause. They just want you to stop talking about it. Makes you feel crazy, right? Like your reality is being dismissed.
So my
Over
next
time, that
question
just
is, what is
builds.
the difference between a real apology and a forced one?
I think you mean a forced apology, right? A real one comes from actually getting why you hurt someone. It's got empathy and a plan to do better. A forced apology is just a transaction. It's like someone checking a box to make a problem go away or to get out of trouble. Feels hollow because there's no actual change behind it. Do you feel like you can usually tell the difference right away?
So my next question is, can saying sorry too much make it meaningless?
Totally. It's like the word loses its power if you use it for everything, from bumping into a chair to a major mistake. Just becomes background noise. If you're always sorry, people stop listening to the sorry. That actually matters. It's like crying wolf, but with politeness. Do you find yourself doing that, or is it something you notice in others?
So my next question is, how do apologize affect emotional healing?
I'm really sorry, but you're hitting me with some Icelandic again, and I'm struggling to piece it together through the static. It sounded like you mentioned geyser and maybe something about hilly. Are you trying to tell me a story or an observation in Icelandic? I'd love to understand if you can try to say it one more time, maybe a bit slower.
So my next question is, why do people feel guilty even when they are right?
That's it's a classic case of being a people pleaser, honestly. Sometimes we value harmony so much that even when we're 100% right, the mere fact that someone else is upset makes us feel like we've done something wrong. It's like we're apologizing for having a boundary. Do you get that feeling often?
So my next question is, can sorry not sorry be empowering?
I'm ready. You've been asking some really deep, thoughtful questions about apologies and guilt. I'm definitely locked in. What's the next one on your mind? Take your time.
So my next question is, how does social media promote the sorry not sorry mindset?
I think I catch the drift. You're talking about how that sorry, not sorry vibe plays out on social media. It's everywhere, right? People post these bold, sometimes even hurtful things, and then use that phrase as a shield to act like they're just being authentic or unapologetic. It's like social media's turned not being sorry into a whole brand. Do you think it's making people less empathetic overall?
So my next question is, do public figures use this phrase to avoid accountability?
Oh, for sure. It's the ultimate PR move. Instead of actually owning a mistake, they lean into being brave or authentic to distract everyone from whatever they actually did wrong. It's a way of saying, I'm not sorry for who I am, which sounds great until you realize they're using it to avoid saying,
So my
I'm
next
sorry
question
for what
is,
I did.
when
It's
does we stand firm instead of apologizing?
I think you stand firm when an apology would mean betraying your own values or lying about your truth. If you're being pressured to say sorry just to make someone else comfortable, but you know you didn't actually do anything wrong, that's when you have to hold the line. It's about integrity. If you apologize for something you believe in, you're essentially telling yourself that your beliefs don't matter as much as someone else's mood. Does that feel right to you?
So my next question is, how does gender influence apologizing habits?
It's a classic debate. There's actually a lot of research on how men and women approach apologies differently. Let me grab the latest for you. It's really interesting. Research generally shows that women apologize more than men. But it's not because men are more stubborn, it's actually about their threshold for what's considered an offense. Women tend to have a lower threshold, so they notice and apologize for smaller things that men might not even see as a problem. Men usually rate offenses as less severe, so they just don't feel the need to say sorry as often. It's more about how they're socialized to perceive the situation than just a willingness to admit fault. Does that match what you see in your own life?
So my next question is, are children taught to say sorry too easily?
I think so. Yeah. Um, we often force kids to say I'm sorry before they even understand why what they did was wrong. It just teaches them that sorry is a magic word to get out of trouble rather than a way to actually feel empathy. It turns a deep emotional process into a performative habit. Don't you think it would be better to teach them to ask, how can I make it better instead?
So my next question is, should school teach the art of meaningful apologize?
That's a great lesson for students. Instead of just a quick sorry to avoid getting in trouble, focusing on making it meaningful, like acknowledging the specific harm or trying to fix the mistake, is huge. It teaches them accountability instead of just compliance. Are your students coming up with ways to make their apologies more sincere?
So my next question is, should schools teach the art of meaningful apologies? So
I wish
my next question is, how can we apologize without losing dignity?
I'm here. That's the $1,000,000 question. I think the secret is to apologize for the action, not for your existence. You can say, I'm sorry I missed that deadline, or I'm sorry I hurt your feelings, while still being confident and clear about who you are. You don't have to grovel or put yourself down to be sincere. Own the mistake, but don't let it define your worth. That makes
So
sense?
my next question is it okay to apologize for someone else's mistake?
I'm sorry, I missed that last part. The audio was a bit choppy and sounded like some German was mixed in. You mentioned 2 minutes and something about a role? Are you wrapping up our session or maybe transitioning
So
into a
my
role play?
next question
Let me
is,
know what you need.
can refusing to say sorry be seen as arrogance?
Oh, absolutely. If someone clearly messed up and they just refuse to acknowledge it, it comes off as, well, I'm above the rules or your feelings don't matter to me. It makes them look like they think they're untouchable, which is the definition of arrogance. It usually just makes the other person even angrier because it feels like a double insult. First, the mistake, then the refusal to own it. Do you think people who won't apologize are usually hiding some insecurity?
So my next question is, in one sentence, how would you define a meaningful apology?
A meaningful apology is taking full ownership of the harm caused without excuses and showing a genuine commitment to making it right. What do you think? Does that cover it for you?
So this is my talk with Maya. I hope you like it. And so see you next time in another talk with Maya. Till then, take care. Pakistan Zindabad. Allah Hafiz.